Her dogs picked up on her agitation. They prowled the courtyard, snarling at shadows. Poor Augmentum turned in circles, trying to aim his sideways head so he could see out of his one ruby eye. Reyna tried to concentrate on positive memories. She'd missed the sounds of the little frogs singing around the neighborhood like a chorus of popping bottle caps. She missed the smell of the ocean, the blossoming magnolias and the citrus trees, the fresh baked bread at the local panderias. Even the humidity felt comfortable and familiar, like scented air from a dryer vent. Part of her wanted to open the gates and explore the city. She wanted to visit the Plaza de Armas, where the old men played dominoes at the coffee kiosk. It had espresso so strong it made your ears pop. She wanted to stroll down to her old street, Calle San Jose, counting and naming the stray cats, making up a story for each one, the way she used to with her sister. She wanted to break into Barraquina's kitchen and cook up some real monfango with fried plantains and bacon and garlic, a taste that would always remind her of Sunday afternoons when she and Hylia could briefly escape the house and, if they were lucky, eat here in the kitchen, where the staff knew them and took pity on them. On the other hand, Reyna wanted to leave immediately. She wanted to wake up Nico, no matter how tired he was, and force him to shadow travel out of here, anywhere but San Juan. Being so close to her old house made Reyna feel ratcheted tight like a catapult winch. She glanced at Nico. Despite the warm night, he shivered on the tile floor. She pulled a blanket out of her pack and covered him up. Reyna no longer felt self-conscious about wanting to protect him. For better or worse, they shared a connection now. Each time they shadow traveled, his exhaustion and torment washed over her, and she understood him a little better. Nico was devastatingly alone. He'd lost his big sister Bianca. He'd pushed away all other demigods who tried to get close to him. His experiences at Camp Half-Blood, in the Labyrinth, and in Tartarus had left him scarred, afraid to trust anyone. Reyna doubted she could change his feelings, but she wanted Nico to have support. All heroes deserved that. It was the whole point of the 12th Legion. You joined forces to fight for a higher cause. You were not alone. You made friends and earned respect. Even when you mustered out, you had a place in the community. No demigod should have to suffer alone the way Nico did. Tonight was July 25th. 7 more days until August 1st. In theory, there was plenty of time to reach Long Island. Once they completed their mission, if they completed their mission, Reyna would make sure that Nico was recognized for his bravery. She slipped off her backpack. She tried to place it under Nico's head as a makeshift pillow, but her fingers passed right through him as if he were a shadow. She recoiled her hand. Cold with dread, she tried again. This time she was able to lift his neck and slide the pillow under. His skin felt cool, but otherwise normal. Had she been hallucinating? Nico had expended so much energy traveling through the shadows. Perhaps he was starting to fade permanently. If he kept pushing himself to the limit for 7 more days... The sound of a blender startled her out of her thoughts. "You want a smoothie?" asked the coach. "This one is pineapple, mango, orange, and banana, buried under a mound of shaved coconut. I call it the Hercules." I'm all right, thanks." She glanced up at the balconies ringing the atrium. It still didn't seem right to her that the restaurant was empty. A private party, HTK. "Coach, I think I'll scout the second floor. I don't like..." A wisp of movement caught her eye. The balcony on the right, a dark shape. Above that, at the edge of the roof, several more silhouettes appeared against the orange clouds. Reyna drew her sword, but it was too late. A flash of silver, a faint whoosh, and the point of a needle buried itself in her neck. Her vision blurred. Her limbs turned to spaghetti. She collapsed next to Nico. Her eyes dimmed. She saw dogs running towards her, but they froze in mid-bark and toppled over. At the bar, the coach yelled, "Hey!" Another whoosh. The coach collapsed with a silver dart in his neck. Reyna tried to say, "Nico, wake up," but her voice wouldn't work. Her body had been deactivated as completely as her metal dogs had. Dark figures lined the rooftop. Half a dozen leapt into the courtyard, silent and graceful. One leaned over Reyna. She could only make out a hazy smudge of gray. A muffled voice said, "Take her." A cloth sack was wrestled over her head. Reyna wondered dimly if this was how she would die, without even a fight. Then it didn't matter. Several pairs of rough hands lifted her like an unwieldy piece of furniture, and she drifted into unconsciousness.